YouTube, Shuken Shinobi here with a review of the Figma Link from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So just like Samus was modeled after her other M game model, this Link is modeled after the Skyward Sword game model, which is perfectly fine with me. Skyward Sword had a very anime-esque feel to it in terms of the design, and I really loved the cel shading that they used in that game too. So I really liked Skyward Sword lots, so that's always good for me. But anyway, I got Link 153 is his number for Figma because they number all their products. Skyward Sword logo in the back. If you want to make a little stand-like thingy for him, you can do that. Brilliant picture of Link on the side. Lots of poses on the back. And another epic picture of Link on the side. Link is all sorts of very cool. I absolutely love the way that this figure turned out. I have one problem with it, and I'll address that right away. His stance. If I actually line up this boot, like how it's supposed to line up, you'll notice he's got a kind of crazy leg stance going on here. That would be because if you look on the inside of his torso here, just kind of keep his pants situated. Make sure he doesn't lose his undies. Here's how it's supposed to look with the gap right there. You've got the joint right there just to kind of show off where it's supposed to be. And then here you've got his other leg with the joint all the way back here. This joint does not move. There is no rotation there. If it does rotate, neither of mine do. So, I have no idea if it's actually supposed to or not. I don't think it is. So mine was assembled wrong, which is a shame. But thankfully this does rotate right here. So as long as you don't really mind things looking kind of strange sometimes, he can still look like he's standing straight. So it's not a huge deal to me. It's just something I wanted to point out in case anyone else had the same issue. I've yet to figure out how to fix it. I don't want to force it because I don't want that joint to break. Because I do not want a broken Link. And I don't want to try to find another one. Because he's kind of hard to find on the aftermarket. But that aside, you can still get a fairly straight standing pose for him. Just if you go to bend that, obviously it's going to look kind of jack-tarded. But that aside, very cool figure. This head sculpt is absolutely gorgeous. Very feminine, but gorgeous nonetheless. Guess that might make it more gorgeous, depending on how you feel. But you've got a pretty standard shoulder joint up in here. The fact that it's a shirt does not hinder it whatsoever. And it's actually covered pretty decent to where you can't really complain too much that it it loses its shirt appearance. It actually looks like a shirt from most angles, so I'm pretty sure you're okay there. Same there with the ab joint right here. Lots of maneuverability and nothing looks strange. It's covered all the way around. As far as the waist goes, you actually have nothing. It's all through the ab here, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. Neck joint, you've just got a full rotation up there. You do have a joint on the hat here, so you can kind of flip it around if he's falling. I mean, it looks kind of strange, but hey, it's something. So you've got a little bit of hat articulation. Single joint right there, except with the way Figma's joints work, the fact that it's a single joint doesn't hinder the toy at all. Got a little wrist joint there. Already showed off the insides of the hips. Single joint there, but again, the way Figma joints work, you don't need a double joint there. Love Figma joints for that. And then same here on the ankle, you've got full range of motion right there. And then, of course, a little toe action going on down here. So you've got pretty much all of your bases covered, no matter what you want to do with this guy. So very cool. And of course, he's decked out with accessories because he's Link. I wish he came with a little bit more, given how many cool accessories were in Skyward Sword, particularly that beetle shot thingy. I would have loved to see that. But he comes with the basics. You've got the Master Sword inside of its sheath. Peg right there for the back. So you've got that going on. Here's a look at the Master Sword. Very nice metallic blue color, which looks really nice. in person. And then there's the hilt of the Master Sword. So that fits in pretty nice and secure. It's not really falling out or anything like that. The Hylian shield, which is kind of interesting for Skyward Sword because the way the shields worked in that game, you had a ton of different shields to use in-game, and the Hylian shield was actually the strongest one, and you didn't get that until doing like some sort of quest or something. But of course, being a Link, he needed to come with the Hylian shield, so very cool rendition of that as well. One thing I do want to point out real quick right now is that this handle is completely removable. So you can put it right here where it just was if you wanted to be holding it with his right hand or with his left hand and be a right-handed sword fighter, or you can peg it in over here, if I can line it up straight, to be a right-handed hold, to be the left-handed fighter. Because as you know, Link is always a left-handed character because Miyamoto is left-handed. And so he was always left-handed in Zelda games until Twilight Princess for the Wii, when they wanted to make Link right-handed to better connect with most players, since most people in the world are right-handed. So they switched it up by mirroring the game, and then in Skyward Sword he was actually legit right-handed. So you can display him either way. I'm going to choose to display him with a left-handed sword grip just because I'm a huge Zelda fan. I've been playing Zelda games since Ocarina, and then I, of course, went back and played the older games as well. So I've been playing Zelda for quite a long time, and I'm just used to Link being left-handed, so I'm going to display him as such, so we'll get to that. You have a alternate hair piece, which is kind of like a little flowy action hair, or rather flowy action bangs, because the top of his hair is the same. A angry, yelly face, because he's Link. That's all he does is either yell or go, ooh, and stuff. You have a slash effect. To do that, just simply kind of line it up. Zip it right through, it'll kind of clip on, and there you go for that. In fact, you can raise it a little bit, it doesn't need to be so close. Something along the lines of that. It's really cool for there if you want to do like a charged up spin slash or an aerial slash or something like that. So very cool. I have no idea if it fits any other swords for any other toys. If you got something about this thickness, then it should probably fit. But I have no idea outside of that. And of course, different hands. You've got like high five hands because that's cool. Just relaxed hands, Master Sword holding hands, and then a slightly downward curve Master Sword holding hand for like jabs and stuff. So that's really cool. Of course, you have a Figma bag to put all your parts in. I prefer just to keep my pieces inside of the box, because I keep all the boxes. But if you don't keep the boxes, or you put the boxes in storage, you get the little baggies. Those are always fun. In fact, I've been storing my stuff in bags now, so I'm probably going to use it. And of course, a Figma stage, because those are always really nice. And you've got two display options. You've got the typical peg that just fits right into his back down here. It always takes a little bit of effort the first couple times until that hole kind of gets bigger. And then, of course, you've got like a smaller little angle right here for doing various angular related poses. So that's the first time I've actually got a Figma that came with a post like that. So very cool. As I said before, the Master Sword does fit right on the back here. My only issue is that in order to get it so it looks somewhat reasonable, his hat gets in the way if the Master Sword's sheathed, so it ruins a lot of like straight poses. Otherwise, you have to tilt it like this in order to get the hat straight, which isn't bad. It just kind of looks like you'd run into a lot of random things doing this. So you have to keep that in mind. And of course, you know, Link stores his shield on his back, so they incorporated that in here as well. What you have to do is you have to take the wrist strap off, take the handle off, and switch them around so it's like this, and then you drop it, because that's cool. You basically slide it through there, just like so, And since mine is going to be left-handed Link, he's going to look like this. Bring the hat over here. Of course, you want to straighten it out so that the shield is straight on there. It's not the greatest system in the world. There you go, something like that. Like I said, it's not, you can see my legs all jacked up. It's not the greatest system in the world, but it does get the job done. If you just want to have him standing there without doing anything on your shelf, then there you go. You've got that pose going for you as well. So I like the fact that they did incorporate that. It's a little bit impractical for the figure, but it's still a nice little addition anyway. So now that we've gone through all of that, let's demonstrate the head switching real quick. Hair, just pop that piece out, and bam, action hair. You just crawl out of bed. To switch the faces, just kind of pull on an ear, that'll pop right out. Line it up with this peg right here. Just like that, and then pick a hair. Now he's angry. So yeah, now he's just going to stand here and be angry. So let's show off some poses and wrap this up. Yeah, I have no idea where that pose came from. But anyway, Link is an absolutely fantastic figure that should probably be in any Nintendo fan's collection. If you like Legend of Zelda, even in the slightest, regardless of whether you've played Skyward Sword or like Skyward Sword, this is still an absolutely fantastic representation of Link that looks great on any video game memorabilia shelf. Just the sheer amount of little poses that you can do with, even with the fairly minute amount of accessories that you're given, looks great. Yeah, there are a few minor nitpicks. The toe joints are really weak, so you're going to have a little bit of issues with that, if that worries you. And the lack of accessories, again, are a little bit of a problem. There's so much that could have been done with this figure, but I'm glad they didn't go overboard, because I wouldn't really want to pay any more for this figure than I already had to. It cost about 3,600 yen at release. I'm not sure what the prices are like now. I know he's pretty hard to find. But keep up the hunt if you want this guy, because like I said, he's absolutely worth it. If you can get over the fact that his accessory count is very minimal, it only includes the necessary linkage, then you're good to go. I adore this figure. Zelda's my favorite Nintendo franchise besides Pokemon, and I'm so glad that they ended up making this figure. It's probably one of my favorites in my entire collection, so props to them for making quite an amazing Link figure. Hopefully you don't have the little leg problem that I have. But other than that, great figure, and certainly recommended. You can check out ShugenShinobi.com for all these updates on my reviews and hauls, and of course check out RidersRangersRambles.com, the podcast, bringing the latest token news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one. Bye.